First thing is what we should know is the physical properties of metals. About physical properties. First and foremost thing to understand it is you study the physical properties of metals. Its opposite is for the non-metals. Very easy to understand. Just remember what are the physical properties. Now in NCERT book, certain activities are given. Based on the activities, what I am going to tell you. The first one is, first activity that is given is metals are lustrous. Lustrous is a property of metal. What is the meaning of lustrous? Lustrous means it can be polished by rubbing it. You know that you take an iron nail which is rusted, rub it with the sandpaper, its outer coating goes off, and then it becomes shining one. The gold jewelers polish it by rubbing it. Silver is polished by rubbing it. So all metals are lustrous. L-U-S-T-R-O-U-S. Lustrous means they can be polished by rubbing it. Understood it? That is the first property. There are some cases, exceptional one. That is good. The next one, metals are generally hard, except sodium, potassium, barium, etc. NPK, calcium. These all metals are soft. They can be cut by a knife. All metals are hard, like silver, gold, platinum. This cannot be normally cut by a knife. So therefore we say they are very hard. Metals are very hard except these. Sodium is a metal which can be cut by a knife. This was asked in the board examination. Name the metal which can be cut by a knife. Sodium is very soft, that can be cut by a knife. Potassium also can be cut by the knife. Calcium is also can be cut by the knife. So these metals are, so some metals are very hard, which cannot be cut by a knife, and certain metals like lithium, sodium, potassium, etc. These metals all can be cut by a knife. So they are soft. Understood it? Hard and soft. The next one, all metals are denser than water. All metals are denser than water except these metals. Sodium, potassium, these are lighter than water. So all metals are denser than water, so they sink into water. Whereas if sodium metal is put in the surface of water, it floats. So all these metals, sodium, potassium, rubidium, these all metals will be floating on the surface of water because they are lighter than water. So metals are denser than water, some are lighter than water. These are some of the common properties. Next one. Metals have generally high melting point. Generally, metals have high melting point. Now, you know that mercury is a liquid metal, so it is an exception. So all these metals, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all these metals are rather cesium, etc. low melting point. So mercury is a liquid metal. Sodium, potassium, calcium, rubidium, cesium, these all metals have a low melting point. Rest of all the metals have their melting point very high. So metals are generally very high melting point, except this. Sodium has got, it's not low, but not very high. Cesium has a melting point of around 30 degrees Celsius. Cesium has a melting point of, it is given in the NCERT book, 30 degrees. If you put cesium metal on your palm, you know that our body temperature is around 33 degrees Celsius. So when cesium metal is put onto our palm, the metal melts. So we don't call cesium as a liquid metal. Mercury in its natural state is liquid. Mercury is the only liquid metal we say. And again, one more one we can say that gallium, Ga-L-L-I-U-M, is also a liquid metal. But rest of some of the metals have got low melting point. Understood it clearly? This examination it was asked the question, name the metal which melts when it is kept on your palm. That is cesium. So metals are generally high melting point and some metals are rather low melting, few metals. Understood it? The next one, the next property is metals are generally malleable. M-E-L-L-E-A-B-L-E. Malleable. Malleable means these all properties you studied in the lower class, I think 6 or 8 standard, you are studying physical properties of metals. So metals are generally malleable. Malleability is a property by which the metal can be beaten into thin sheets. Understood? When a metal is taken, like you take an iron nail, hammer it with continuously, that nail gets converted, flattened, and like that you can make thin sheets. So ability of a metal to be converted into thin sheets on hammering is malleable, and that property is known as malleability. So metals are generally malleable, except the metals which I told you. All those metals which are lighter than water, which are very soft, what happens when they are hammered, they break down. Otherwise, you know that gold is used to make jewelries. So in which we make gold sheets are being used or gold wires are being used. The property by which a metal can be converted into thin sheets on hammering is known as malleability. Understood it? The next one, ductility. Ductility is a property by which the metals can be drawn into wires. So if a metal is malleable, equally it is ductile also. Little variation is there. The property by which a metal can be drawn into thin sheet, drawn into wires is ductility, and the property by which it can be beaten into thin sheets without breaking is malleability. Metals are malleable as well as ductile. Few exceptions are there. Understood? There was a question asked earlier, the board examination. Let PV sheets are available, whereas PV wires are not available. What I mean to say that PV lead sheets are there in the market, whereas lead wires are not available. What does it mean? Lead sheets are available, lead wires are not available. Means simple reason. Why the wires are not available? Because that metal is not ductile. That's it clearly. So in case they are given a metal X, wires are available, the metal X sheets are not available. The simple reason is if the sheets are not available, what can we say? That metal is not malleable. If wires are available, that means it can be ductile. That's it clearly. So malleability is a property by which it can be drawn, it can be beaten into sheets, and ductility is a property by which it can be drawn into wires. Silver, gold are the two metals which are most highly malleable. Copper and silver are the ones which are highly ductile. And that's the reason you know that electricity cables are made up of copper or aluminum. Electricity cables is how the wires, and that wires are made up of either copper or aluminum. The reason is copper is highly ductile, so copper wire can be made easily, and that is being used. So metals are malleable. Malleability is a property by which they can be beaten into sheets, and ductility is a property by which they can be drawn into wires. Now, what is the meaning of ductility? Means we have taken number of these fine cables and then club them together and then we hammer it. Understood it? When we hammer it, all these small pieces of these ductile wires which we are taking, and when we hammer it, we get a big sheet, big wire. That is the meaning of ductility. If you take a sheet of paper, roll it into many times, and then you hammer it, afterwards you open it, you'll be getting the paper in the form of pieces. Whereas if you take wires, like if you 2-3 copper wires are taken, place it together and hammer it, and they are joined and converted into one single piece. Again, you roll that hammer. You are taking a copper sheet, roll it, hammer it, you'll be getting copper wire. Copper wire, you hammer it, you'll be getting copper sheets. So when sheets are available, it is malleable, and when wire, it is ductile. So all the metals are generally ductile as well as solid, but few variations are there. Little changes are there. Some are highly malleable, like what I told you. Lead is not a ductile metal, so lead is a malleable one. Its wires are not available, that means it is non-ductile. Understood clearly? The next one. Metals are generally good conductors of electricity. Metals are good conductors of electricity and good conductors of heat. Metals are good conductors of electricity as well as heat. And exception one, lead is the poor conductor of lead and mercury. What is known in standard book? Lead and mercury are the poor conductors of heat and electricity. They conduct a little bit, but their conductivity is not as equivalent to as the copper or aluminum. So, metals are good conductors of heat, except lead is a poor conductor of electricity. Why? Because if we use lead, what happens? It's due to its low melting point, so it is not able to conduct electricity. That's why we say lead is poor conductor of heat. And mercury is also taken as poor conductor of heat and electricity. That's what it. Next, we write down. This is slowly metals are denser. They have got high densities. Some metals have got lower density. Some metals have got higher density. That is different one. And one more property. This is all you know that metals are sonorous. You know the meaning of sonorous? When struck, it produces a characteristic metallic sound. You know that when a wood is struck, it produces a particular sound. Whereas when a metal is, you take a steel glass and you strike it, it produces a metallic sound, and that sound is sonorous. So metals are sonorous. Sonorous means when struck, it produces a characteristic sound. Understood it clearly? These are some of the common properties of metals. So students, some of the properties we have touched. The reason, remember, a metal which can be cut by a knife, that is sodium. A metal which floats on the surface of water, that is sodium, potassium, all these metals. They are lighter than, their density is very less, etc., etc., all the properties. And a metal which is malleable and mostly that is ductile also. Except one metal, what I told you is the other one, which is lead is non-ductile one. Next, coming back to non-metals. Coming back to non-metals. Bromine is the only liquid non-metal. Here, bromine is the only liquid non-metal, and rest of the non-metals are either solids or gases. Bromine is the only liquid non-metal, and rest of the non-metals are either solids or gases. Note down. As I told you earlier, the properties of non-metals are just opposite to that of metals. Properties of non-metals are just opposite that of the metals, but exceptional cases are there. We have studied metals are lustrous. That means they can be polished by rubbing it, whereas non-metals are non-lustrous. Exceptional are there. Iodine is a non-metal which can be polished by rubbing it. Graphite is an alloy group of carbon which can be polished by rubbing. So what we have got it. Metals are lustrous, they can be polished by rubbing, and non-metals are non-lustrous except few. Metals are good conductors of electricity, and non-metals are bad conductors. And what is? All non-metals are bad conductors of electricity except that of graphite, which is a good conductor. Graphite is what? Graphite is a non-metal allotropic form of carbon, which is good conductor of electricity. All non-metals are brittle. all non-metals are brittle. Brittle means it can be, when you hammer it, it gets into powder. Non-metals are brittle, whereas diamond is the hardest natural substance known. That's what I mean is, don't tell me that it is the hardest. It is the hardest natural substance known. Artificial harder substance may be possible. Silicon carbide or carbon is the hardest material. So diamond is a natural substance which is hardest. This cannot be, which is not brittle. Understood? So the properties, all non-metals are either solid. There are 5 or 6 solid non-metals. Rest of the non-metals are gases, and one non-metal is liquid. Metals, comparing it, mercury and gallium are the 2 liquid metals. Rest of all metals are solid. There are no gaseous metal. Understood it? So note down few exceptional one. Well, you just remember the properties of metals, its opposite, and exceptions you learn it. That's what exceptions means. You understood it? Graphite is non-metal, which is a good conductor of electricity and which can be polished. Iodine is a non-metal which is brittle as well as it is lustrous. Understood it? Rest of these are some of the common properties. That's all.